Walker, who turned 22 on Tuesday, has made 38 appearances since joining the Wolves from Widnes as backup to England hooker Darrell Clarke ahead of the 2019 season. Few fan views in on this one. Do you want to pick up the first of them?
I will. Neil Ormston says, good news for Wire signing Danny Walker up for 2022. Will prove to be solid cover for Daz Clarke. Added bonus for the Cass fans, in that it meant we didn't need much shame to be back up so we could sign his contract with them. Yeah.
EFC78JU said, love to hear that about Danny Walker. We will get something out of him for defo in the next few months at the club. Oh, he's put punctuation in! Oh, there's a full stop. And most of all, he has secured his spot in Darryl Powell's squad next year.
Lee Whitnall says, great news. Although it would have been good to time down for a bit longer, he's tough for his size, accelerates quickly, has a good engine, good kicking game too, which gives us an extra dimension. I'm looking forward to seeing him progress as Clarkie's apparent.
And Pop the Viking said, pleased he's been given a new contract to play with a big future. Would have loved him to stay at Widnes, but good to see him getting his chance in the Super League. Yeah, talented kid. No-brainer for Warrington to try and keep him. And I echo what was said about surprising it's not a bit of a longer deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to know on whose say-so that was. I wonder if he's concerned about his game time. Now there's an extra pivot signed for the club, whether that's going to affect the amount of time he gets in the team, because you're going to squeeze another superstar on the field somewhere.
Yeah, fair point. But when he has started a few games recently, he's been really impressive. So I thought he was good in defeat this week, actually. Yep. But not everything about Warrington is signings or re-signings, is it, David?
No, indeed. Castleford Tigers have signed centre Jake Mamo from Warrington Wolves on a 3-year deal, which will begin next season. The 27-year-old began his career in the NRL with Newcastle Knights before moving to Huddersfield Giants in 2017. After 2 years with the Giants, Mamo joined the Wire in 2019 and has been ever present in Steve Price's side this year. So a departure rather than arrival.
Yep, and EFC78JU said, shocked to hear about Jake Mamo's future, which he did say it was set to be decided last night with Jenna during his man of the match interview, and it's been decided today he will be the Menderhose Jungle next season with Castleford Tigers. He was some player for the Wire, and he will still see more of him for the rest of the season. Thank you, Jake.
Yep, we've abandoned the punctuation again.
Yeah, Lee Whitnall, back to his traditional best.
Lee Whitnall, I would have rather kept Jake and left Matautia at Cass, but understand that we can't have both, especially with Conor Renge and with Thewlis coming through to offer cover at centre and full-back. He's been brilliant for us, and the Cass fans will love him. Hopefully he can make a few more great memories for us before he goes.
Tom Andrews said, I don't understand this one. I must be missing something here. But he said PRC in Cass is more likely to mean pissed up Rob coming, and it's more of a warning than a club. Great signing for Cass, though.
Yeah, I've not worked that out myself. David Hunter says, disappointing, but I hope he continues to win man of the match at Cass. We all know that. I would take him at Parramatta over Opachek any day.
Yeah, considering how zany his post-match interviews tend to be, the fact that he didn't just come clean with what was happening with his future, even though it was clearly signed and sealed, is a bit strange. And do you know what? I just wish people would be a bit more upfront and fucking honest.
Maybe.
All this staged press release stuff. Nah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's probably what it was. They told him not to say anything in public because it's going to be announced by the club, blah, blah. So that happens.
Exciting signing for Cass, though. You know, they've lost a bit there with Matautia going, but Mamo's a little bit younger, a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Can play in the same positions that Matautia offers you. So I think it's a solid replacement.
Yeah, it is. It's not, as you say, it's not quite like for like, but it doesn't weaken Cass, that I don't think.
No. Staying with Cass, something certainly doesn't weaken them is Castleford hooker and reigning Steve Prescott Man of Steel winner Paul McShane has signed a new 3-year deal to remain at the Super League club until the end of 2025. The 31-year-old moved to Cass in 2015 and helped them win the League Leaders' Shield and reach the Grand Final in 2017. Couple of fan views in on this one.
Lee Whitnall says, in our salary cap sport, it's rare to see a player north of 30 rewarded for the performance and loyalty with a long-term deal that offers financial security going into his retirement. And I think it was on slightly better terms as well from what I read. So this is great to see. I'm pleased that DP isn't bringing him to wire, as has been reported. Despite McShane's obvious quality, I'd much rather see how Powell can use the same coaching to get the best out of Danny Walker.
And Tom Andrews said, if you ever wanted to know what Fatboy Rob's wet dream looked like, nobody did. It's this press release. Yes, Rob has been very excited. I'm surprised he didn't drop a news viewing because he sent us several tweets where he's just commented about McShane's re-signing over the last week.
And you've got to say it's a great signing for Castleford. 3 years does strike you as quite a lengthy deal. For someone of McShane's age, but he doesn't have a huge number of injuries, and he strikes me as being a very robust sort of player. So,
and I don't feel like he needs that motivation of a shorter deal to prove himself, to keep proving he's good enough, I think this makes sense. Assuming there's some sort of tapering down in his last year of what he gets paid, when you'd expect maybe his production will drop a little bit. Like we're starting to see slightly out of Roby now as well in his mid-30s rather than his early 30s. Then that would make sense. McShane as well at the end of this deal, at the end of his career, is going to make a really good coach, I think. I don't know if it head coach, but coach of players.
Yeah, he's very articulate and thoughtful, isn't he, about the game when I've heard him speak.
Yeah. Right, do you think you can do this one without crying, David?
Yes, I can. Hull KR have signed St Helens fullback Lachlan Coote on a 2-year deal from 2022. Coote, who's 31, has won back-to-back grand finals with Saints, has won back-to-back grand finals with Saints, has won back-to-back... Sorry, I got stuck there. He played more than 160 games in the NRL for Penrith and North Queensland before arriving at Saints ahead of the 2019 season, as well as 3 caps for Scotland. Coote was also named on the Great Britain Tour in 2019, making 1 appearance. I'd almost forgotten that, to be quite honest.
He was pretty shit, weren't he?
He wasn't great.
He missed the bouncing ball about 2 or 3 times, didn't he, in the first half, and then I don't think he even finished the game. I don't know.
I've blotted it out, Mark.
Yeah.
I've blotted it out. We had some fan views.
Yeah.
Tom Andrews says he's the reason I've booked Old Trafford and Wembley. Obviously not this season, Tom. Outstanding signing can only add to our exciting brand of rugby, setting up Hallie and Ethan for fun.
Pob the Viking said, a great signing for KR. Wonder if it was just money or something more that made him leave Saints. It was just money, Pob. And Ben Hollywell 25 got one in as well after I'd sent the rundown to you, David. He said, I will miss Coote at Saints as he has always had time for the fans and loves the club and is unlucky not to have won a Man of Steel at Saints. And then he put hashtag bring back Barber. I mean, by all means, bring back a player who hasn't played for 2 years and is a fucking disgrace to humanity. But yeah,
I wouldn't have thought so. That there have been rumours about new fullbacks at the club. Obviously, we've also got Wellesby. Disappointing for Saints that we won't see him in our colours again. I was a bit surprised that he'd signed because the rumours doing the rounds was his missus wanted to go back to Australia. And Hull KR isn't Australia. Not even on the sunniest day. Could East Hull be described as Australia?
It's marginally closer than St Helens.
Maybe, but not much.
Actually, it's not really, is it? Because you then have to drive to Manchester or London to get a plane anyway.
But Hull KR are getting a very good player. He's been slightly down on his production this year, but he looked better, I thought, against against Wigan this week, and I've no doubt he'll add to Hull KR from next year. It's disappointing for us that he's moving on.
Yeah,
we couldn't afford to keep him.
He has looked a bit sharper in the last couple of games, I do think. From Saints' perspective, it's clearly a salary cap thing, isn't it? You can't keep upping the salaries of players who've won trophies ad infinitum. There's got to be some break there, and it looks like Koo and potentially Farge are the people who are going to be moved on for internal promotion of people like Welsby and Dodd, who are really talented players. Welsby deserves his chance as a starting player in Super League, either in the full-back or the centre position, or however it might end up being. I think Saints are going to have a very local look inside next year by anything I've seen in the transfer dealing. So salary cap is playing its role in that, isn't it? Because you can't keep keeping everyone.
Yeah, that's what happens. It happens in all sports with a cap like this, whether they be our own or in some of the sports in the USA. It is the nature of the beast, and part of the art of doing this well as a club is to make sure that you make the right choices about who you give the additional money to. So as you say, this is the salary cap working. It's disappointing. Hopefully, we can send him onwards with another couple of medals in his kit bag.
Yeah, he might win man of the match or two.
He won't be winning any at Hull KR, Tom, so don't get excited.
Staying with Hull KR, though, they've made a good re-signing as well, one that's been hovering around for a few weeks. Matt Parcell has signed a new deal to keep him at the Super League club until the end of next season. The 28-year-old joined from Leeds, where he won the 2017 Grand Final, and he's currently in his third season with the club. And Tom Andrews said, "Another week, another quality delivery. Would have liked more than a year, but just happy he's in red and white next year. Now, what's next, I wonder? Maybe a reason to be happy. Oh, we did that before, so it's the other way around."
Sorry, we got that the wrong way around.
But it's not the end of the Hull KR stories, is it, David?
No, it isn't, because there's another Hull KR have signed forward, Frankie Holton, on a 2-year deal from the Championship side, Featherstone Rovers. Ireland international Holton, 25, can play at proper back row, and joined Featherstone from Swinton Lions. His contract with the Super League club begins at the start of the 2022 season. And we have, Tom has given us another view on this. Can't say I've heard of him, but if he's signed for the new Galacticos of Super League, I imagine he's quality. Already getting excited about 2022, Tom, which is good.
Yeah, it feels like a squad signing, but it's progression for him, isn't it? He impressed at Swinton. He took the step up from the bottom end of the Championship to the top end of the Championship, and is now progressing into the Super League. And it shows that you can still develop players within the Championship to give them a crack at Super League later on in their career. So we'll see how he gets on. A former Hull KR player now, halfback Chris Atkin, has signed a new 2-year deal at Salford. The 28-year-old joined the Red Devils from the Robins in the 2020 season and has scored 2 tries in 8 Super League appearances this term. Atkins' deal also includes an option of a 3rd year.
And staying with Salford, they've signed back rower Ellis Robson on a 2-week loan deal from fellow Super League side Warrington. The 22-year-old's made 7 appearances for Warrington since making his first team debut in 2019. Robson has already spent time on loan with Widnes and Bradford in the Championship this season.
And do you know what? We're going to hover a bit more around Salford and sort of Warrington, because Salford have signed Dan Norman and Nathan Roebuck on loan, and Ellis Robson actually has extended his stay till the end of the season as well. So that seems like a bit of a salary cap adjustment opportunity for Warrington there, if that's what's happened too. So Warrington winger or centre Roebuck has linked up with Richard Marshall's men for the rest of the season as well, while St Helens prop Dan Norman has been brought in on a week-long loan. We'll get to that, because if people think week-long loans is a weird thing, we'll get to that in a minute. But that's to basically make sure Salford have a team to play against Cass, where he can actually get a good first-hand report, can't he, on the on the Challenge Cup opponents?
Yeah, so he could feed that